6th hour. My son is sick, got sent home from daycare today, so I had to head out, but I want you to continue because we have a test on Friday. So this is the last new material. It's going to be on ions, ionic compounds, drawing the ionic bonding, naming ionic compounds, and this is the last piece, the crisscross method. And we'll practice it today, and then on Thursday we'll do some review and get set up for our Friday test. So the first thing we're going to do with ionic compounds to do our crisscross method is that we need to know it's kind of a shortcut for the drawings we've been doing, because I know those drawings take a while. So I'm going to show you how to kind of skip that drawing part. So first you're going to write the element symbol with its charge. That means we need to determine how many valence electrons it has and what's going to happen to those electrons. So first we have barium. Barium is in group 2, so it has 2 valence electrons. It is going to lose those 2 electrons, and when you lose negative electrons, you become positive. That is where our positive 2 charge came from. So it's barium plus 2. Iodine has 7 valence electrons. So it wants to gain 1 electron to get 8. When you gain a negative electron, you become negative. That is where our negative 1 comes from. Now, we want to turn these ions into a compound. And so what we're going to do is crisscross. So we are going to take the 2 and we are going to crisscross it down below the iodine. And we are going to take the 1 and we are going to crisscross it down below the barium. And we're going to rewrite it without the charges. So after my barium, I'm going to write the 1. And remember, I don't have to include 1s in a formula, so I'm not going to write anything. And after my iodine, I'm going to write my 2 that I crossed down. So it ends up BaI2 is my formula. So this is barium iodide. So there are a couple of steps. Let's try it again. So we've got sodium and chlorine. So the first step is to find the charges. So sodium has 1 valence electron. It's going to lose that 1 electron, and when you lose the negative, you become positive. So sodium plus 1. And it's going to bond with chlorine. Chlorine has 7 valence electrons. 7, we want to gain 1 more, so when you gain 1, you become negative 1. We are going to crisscross our charges to rewrite. So, our sodium is going to get a 1. Remember, we don't write 1s though, so I'm just going to leave it. And my chlorine also gets a 1. Again, not going to write it because we don't have to write 1s. Okay. Notice, my formula doesn't have any charges in it. So our formula, you get rid of the charges. Let's try another one together. Strontium and phosphorus. So strontium is group 2. It's going to lose those 2 electrons to become plus 2. Phosphorus has 5. It's going to gain 3 more to become negative 3. Okay, so now I need to crisscross to get my formula. So my strontium is going to get my 3, no charge, and my phosphorus is going to get my 2. Again, no charge. So I have strontium phosphide. Okay, now there's one more situation we need to talk about, which is number 3. barium and sulfur. Barium is a +2 because it has 2 valence electrons, so it loses those 2. Sulfur has 6 valence electrons, which means it gains 2 to become -2. If the charges are the same number, so 2 and 2, they cancel each other out. So when we rewrite our formula, we are just going to write one of each. So BAS. The same thing would happen if it was a +3 and a -3. They cancel each other out, and we don't write it. Okay, pause this video for a minute or two and try number 4 on your own. Okay, hopefully you actually paused it, so let's check our work. Calcium's a group 2, so it becomes +2. Iodine has 7 valence electrons, so it becomes a -1. And when you crisscross, calcium gets the 1 from iodine, don't write it. Iodine gets the 2 from calcium, so it is CaI2. Keep out your notes because next you're going to work on a worksheet where you're going to do a bunch of practice with this. The worksheet is due tomorrow. So I'm going to show you the chart in your worksheet before you get it. So this is the chart you're going to see. It breaks it down a little bit more than we just did. So I'm going to go through one with you so that you know what to do. So magnesium is first, and the first box asks for the number of valence electrons. So magnesium has 2, which means that it's going to have a charge of +2. We're always going to start with our metal, so it's always positive first. Second element is bromine. Again, number of valence electrons is 7. So our ion is going to be -1 because the goal is to have 8. The next box, we actually want to show our crisscross. So magnesium has a +2. Bromine has a -1. And then I'm going to show how it crosses down. For my final formula, magnesium gets the 1, so I don't write it. And bromine gets the 2. I'm looking for you to actually do the crisscross method in that box. I want to see your arrows showing where they're going. Finally, the name, magnesium, so I write the full name of the first element, and then I add "ide" to the next, so that is bromide. Make sure that you show your work in this section and also on the back. This is due tomorrow.